Season's greetings, everyone, and welcome to another nerdy episode of another nerdy talk show, where we talk nerd. Big week this week for trailers. Let me just get that out of the way. Oh, we got a lot of trailers to talk about. And what kind of trailers? Well, let's just find out. Tonight we got trailers for... Boom. I have to read a list on this one here. Super Mario Brothers, the meme one, Night at the Museum, Kuhmunrah Rises Again, Transformers, Rise of Beasts, Indiana Jones, The Dial of Destiny, Guardians of the Galaxy 3, Cocaine Bear. That's an actual title. I hope that's all of them. I hope that is all of them. Also, Bambi is being made into a horror movie. I have no comment on this. I have several... Well, actually, scratch that. I have several comments on this, but, I have to wait for that point to come. My goodness. And lastly, a relic from the Spider-Man 4 canceled movie. The canceled Spider-Man 4 movie has been found, and it's something nobody really suspected to have existed. All that and more tonight on another nerdy episode of another nerdy talk show. Cue the holiday opening!
And a Happy New Year!
And now it's time for your weekly vocabulary builder, helping you make other people feel stupid since the dawn of man. This week's word is
vamoose. It is a verb. Definition: to depart hurriedly. Hurriedly. Forget it. When used in a sentence, vamoose, the cops are coming!
congratulations, you are now 0.03% smarter. We'll be back next week with more ridiculous smart words you've never heard of. Or maybe you have. In which case, tough shit.
Alright, that was good. That was great. I thought it was fantastic. I laughed, I cried, and it was a good time. With that being said, good evening, everyone, and welcome to another nerdy episode of another nerdy talk show, where we talk nerd. My name is mibevan, and I'm here with my usual hosts, Justin Jablonski and Kuhmunrah the Invisible.
Yep.
Good water. So, he'll be back, I'm assuming, because he's getting food. But, yeah, aside from that, everybody's here. We're all having a good time. Jablonski's all the way sunken to the bottom of his screen, as usual. And we're all here for a good time here. You guys are not going to believe I should probably wait for him to come back from this food.
Yeah.
We had a lot of trailers this week, dude.
Oh, for sure.
I don't even think I got all of them.
No, I saw like a couple of them in the theater. Oh, I also saw the Cocaine Bear trailer in the theater when I was watching Violent Night.
Oh, we got a lot to
talk
cover on
about
that
later.
one. That is going to be our holiday movie this year, according to my dad.
Oh, Cocaine Bear or Violent Night?
Violent Night.
Oh, it's so good.
Like last year, we watched Encanto together. This year, it's Violent Night. There he is, slithering his way in his Slytherin shirt. What's up, Kuma?
Heyo.
So I wanted to show you guys something I got at Cats Connection today. At a discount, I got this little object here. Now you guys are probably wondering what the heck this is.
Yeah.
This here,
Crystal ball?
close. This, Jablonski's probably gonna let out his favorite letter after I say what it is a Life Day ball. Jablonski knows what it is. You know what part of what it's referring to.
fucking Star Wars.
I know what it's referring to as well too. Like I just don't know specifically what that is.
Yeah, you've seen the holiday special, haven't you?
No.
Good.
Parts.
Once. It's okay, Kuma, it's run out of context. So at the end of Life Day, the Wookiees come together and take these orbs and they put them all together and they get warped to a tree. So I got this. It was only like $6. So I can now go to the Tree of Life and hear Carrie Fisher sing while she's really high. May she rest in peace.
Yeah.
This is going to be going right under my tree. Everybody's going to say, hey, Evan, what's that? Oh, it's life. It's a crystal ball for life. It's the Life Day ball. It was so good. I thought that would be funny. I think it's good.
Because people are going to line up just to ask that.
Anyway, but yeah. I'm going to put that here. Cruiser's probably going to notice and go like, what the fuck is that? But,
yeah.
Yeah, we had a lot of trailers this week.
Yep.
I mean, come on, Cocaine Bear?
My fave.
Same. I cannot wait.
Yep.
My dad said it sounds like a comedy. I'm like, Dad, how could... The movie's called Cocaine Bear. It's based on a real bear. What else could you... How could that not be a hilarious movie?
Yeah, we actually... or when we were actually talking about this... during the week when we first saw the trailer, Kuma made the distinction of Kangaroo Jack.
Yeah.
And we both kind of agreed that basically the movie does feel like Kangaroo Jack. It was a bit more realistic.
Yeah,
it was a
pretty much.
bear.
Yeah. Yeah, because like immediately, like I almost thought of a similar I thought to the similar plot of Kangaroo Jack because like the idea was them delivering money right without them knowing because like spoilers for those that haven't seen that movie, but like the character Charlie is delivering money to his own hitman to kill him. That was literally like the slight plot for the beginning of the movie.
Like, I guess, hold on a second, I might as well just put up the Cocaine Bear poster, which looks like something out of friggin' Sin City.
I'm not gonna lie, yeah, it totally does. That is totally a Sin City, like, poster.
Yeah, it's like friggin' Carrie Russell gonna be the yellow bastard or something. Like friggin' Eldon interest. But I think what's funny is that I should probably explain the story about what this thing is based on. And if Wikipedia is telling me correctly, the film is inspired by the real-life story of a 170-pound, 7-kilogram bear, or American black bear to be specific, that died after ingesting a duffel bag full of cocaine in December of 1985. The cocaine had been dropped out of an airplane piloted by Andrew C. Thornton II, a former narcotics officer convicted drug smuggler. But because his plane was carrying too heavy a load, Thornton then jumped off the plane with a faulty parachute and died. The bear was found 3 months later in the North State of Georgia alongside 40 open plastic containers of cocaine. The bear is currently on display at the Kentucky for Kentucky Fun Mall at Lexington, Kentucky, U.S., who named the creature Cocaine Bear in 2015. I like the fact that Cruiser came in during all that.
That's probably the only reason I'll visit Kentucky now, just to see that bear.
Yeah.
Cruiser,
Kentucky has a new creature to be famous for.
Wait a minute. Cruiser?
Mitch McConnell?
No. Cruiser. The
What?
fuck are you doing?
What?
Where are you right now?
Oh, I'm at my dad's.
Your dad's.
Yeah, he wanted me to house and dog sit for him.
Oh, so he's not there.
Right. Ziggy.
You feel naked.
Hey, Ziggy.
He feels naked without one autograph in behind him. Anyway, Emma.
I looked up who was on there.
Yeah, I'm watching his dogs. This is Ziggy.
Kitty.
Oh, yeah, pup.
Yeah, it's a good Ziggy.
He's a kitty.
Took you a while to get used to me, but now she loves me. Oh, yeah,
You watch our viewer count go through the roof because he has a dog with him.
Lulu, come here. Lulu,
There's a dog named Lulu.
Too.
So,
Yeah. And this is Lulu.
We have Ray Liotta in this movie.
Ray Liotta, really?
Uh-huh.
Oh my god, I didn't even
She
notice.
sticks her tongue right up my nostril. Come on, Lulu.
I always recognize Ray Liotta's face, but I always forget his name just because I'm just like going, hey, that guy. Who is he?
I think they want food. Let me tend to that.
Sure, why not?
Yeah.
Are you guys hungry?
It's like freaking, like, Ray Liotta, I haven't seen a lot of his stuff, honestly. But, like, that's just crazy. That's just crazy.
You never seen him in damn it, was it I was about to say Godfather, no.
Sopranos.
Wise Guys, wasn't it? No.
He was in the pre-make of Sopranos, I know that. But then again, I haven't seen The Sopranos, so.
No, hold on. Wise Guys.
You don't know this is also being directed by Elizabeth Banks, who you may know for a lot of things, or me, the secretary, Terry Betty Brant at the Daily Bugle, I believe, who was in Spider-Man Sam Raimi movie.
Oh, nice.
Yep. You may also know her as Lucy in Lego Movie 2.
That's cool.
Yeah, she's great. But yeah, this is just like friggin', come on, you looked at this thing and said Cocaine Bear. Come on. I mean, come on. You can't go wrong with Cocaine Bear.
I mean, like, that's the best way to sum it up.
I like how the tagline is inspired by true events. No thing. It's just, you might as well just say a cocaine bear. What more can we say?
Yeah. I mean, I would have loved to be there when they were pitching the idea to.
It's like
just going there, just being like, so, sir, we have this idea. You might have heard this story a long time ago. If not,
where have you been?
Let's just say it involves a wild animal, and some narcotics.
We put the cocaine in the bear. It's like that one drug PSA where the dog is used to smuggle cocaine in his body.
Okay.
But yeah, the idea of how I said, like, it made me think of Kangaroo Jack is just like how...
And Evan, believe me, I have plenty of autograph shit to show off.
Cool. I just saying it feels naked without one behind you. Anyway, I'm about like,
Well, they're right here.
Right. Anyway, but yeah, like, I guess I could see where you're getting at with a Kangaroo Jack kind of thing there. I mean, truth be told, I don't know if you probably already knew this. Kangaroo Jack was meant to be another type of movie.
Yeah.
So sort of like a mobster movie or something like that?
It was supposed to be like a mobster comedy, and then this guy saw how big Snow Dogs became, and then he just made it into a kid's
Snow
movie.
Dogs was big? I thought that movie was shit.
No, it was pretty funny.
Yeah,
I remember watching it I watched it a lot as a kid.
You gotta bite the dog's ear.
Yeah,
Just
and then
sit
just
down
be
and-
like, I just never seen anybody stupid enough to do it.
Right,
Brave
that's
enough
the
to
thing,
do
like-
it, whatever he said.
Like, that's the thing, like, but I find it funny. It's kind of like what it basically Kangaroo Jack is to Snow Dogs what Pod People is to E.T.
Probably, yeah.
Yeah,
I forget about Pod People.
what was supposed to be a movie about an alien serial killer turned into a kids movie after the director saw E.T. and there's like clearly insert scenes in it. But yeah, you know what I'm saying.
Yeah, Cocaine Bear, just again, just that title alone is enough just to make people want to be like, I'm curious. Yeah,
It's
I
like
wanna
it's
go
right up
watch
there
that.
with it's like a few notches beneath Sharknado.
There you go.
I guess Sharknado wasn't really that appealing to me. I'll be honest.
No, but it's the name that caught people and activated a lot of buzz on Twitter.
Surprisingly, yes, that is 100% true.
Yeah, the movie did better on Twitter than it did on TV.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'll give it that.
Yeah, I saw it on TV and it was the best thing I've ever seen in my life. Anyway, I'm
I
like,
saw it with riff tracks. That made it even better.
yeah. We had a watch party at Jason's party. But what I was gonna say is that that Cocaine Bear will be on its way out in February 24th, 2023. So that's it. Let's talk about some other stuff here.
Oh, Kerry Russell's also going to be in this.
Yeah, it was the first joke I made. The next trailer we're going to talk about tonight is Where the frick is that? Okay. Super Mario Brothers the movie.
This trailer was
I'm
definitely
excited.
better.
Yeah.
Why do you sound disappointed? Oh, just kidding.
I agree. This trailer made it better.
Yeah.
I was already kind of
Starting-
excited for it, but now it did. Now I'm actually excited.
Yeah, DK looks
Yeah.
pretty good. The animation looks stellar. We heard a little bit more of Mario's voice, and we heard him give his little woohoo in there.
I have to wonder if that's Charles Martinet's only role in the movie, the woohoo.
You could be surprised. I mean, like, they're trying something different there. The only thing that
Well,
really...
because you remember, his name was on the poster.
Oh, yeah.
So clearly, he's going to have a role in this.
Oh, yeah.
But I'm going to find it a little funny yet mean-spirited if that's his only role. The
My
woohoo.
question is who they would get to play Wario, because if they're following the right formula, they might bring him in the next movie if they make a sequel.
Yeah, but I guess for a sequel maybe, but like for the now, I think it's working okay.
Yeah. It's kind of weird to know that it's probably Luigi who's in trouble. I mean, yeah, I know Luigi's like a cowardly character and could probably get in his own skin, get in trouble, but like, you know, it's kind of interesting that they're not following that formula.
Yeah, I would have loved for him to have rescued Princess Peach just to find out our princess is in another castle. I would have loved to have seen that.
Yeah. I mean, maybe
So
they'll-
watch me. Sorry, Luigi's in another castle.
exactly. Like, I'll give it this. At least they're trying to spice up the formula a little bit, because like, they know people at the games are going in there expecting something like that, but you know, they're spicing it up a bit.
Yeah, but I think people want the games though. I mean, as much as I like the
Not
live action movie,
really,
I
but
understand why people hated it.
They're not wanting the game. They're like they just want the characters to be the characters, really. Not like it doesn't necessarily have to follow the
Yeah.
whole game itself, because like depending,
Well, that
it's
was
also
one-
like depending on which game you're following as well too. Each game is also very different. It's not like, I mean, like besides
Yeah.
the premise of it, like each setting of the game is like something as well too. It was Super Mario 2 or 3 where it's like they're on a stage kind of idea.
Yeah, no, that was 3.
Three.
Yeah. The thing is that
3,
like,
yeah.
yeah, Peach is a powerful character.
Yeah, I think she might be a bit too overpowered because I remember when they did when Death Battle did Peach versus Zelda, and honestly, the way how I interpreted it is, it seems like Peach is just the emotionally unstable chick who has too much firepower.
Exactly. I've heard a rumor. I don't know whether this was confirmed or not. The reason why she's so easily kidnapped though is because she doesn't want to endanger anybody else in the kingdom. Because like if she fights back, Bowser might strike the kingdom. Like she's using that as like leverage or something like that, or like a threat.
It's kind of too late when he turns them all into bricks.
Yeah, the rumor is. I think that was the rumor from what I heard. After seeing what he's capable of doing, doing from any game further, he's not doing that. She just lets him kidnap her just to prevent anybody else from getting turned into bricks or like destroyed or whatever.
Yeah, I guess like you can see that. Yeah.
But like
but besides that, seeing everything like characters in the background and just like the settings as well too, it was pretty cool.
yeah, Peach's
And
voice.
I'm hoping for. Sorry, Evan. I'm hoping for just one reference to the live action movie. Just put like a sign that says Thwomp Stomper somewhere in the background. Just one. That's all I'm asking.
Kind of is actually.
Really?
With what they're going with. Okay, so with what they're going with, and this is from the trailer too, is that they are doing what they did in the live action movie. Is that they are? It also takes from lore that that Mario and Luigi aren't from the Mushroom Kingdom.
Yeah,
They're from Brooklyn.
like they're
because like we do see a scene of like Mario actually,
Being a plumber.
being a plumber and like just like analyzing a sink, just like okay.
So he's going.
And there's another poster as well too where like it's him and Luigi and like they have their van and it literally says Super Mario Brothers Plumbing.
There you go. That's a cute little reference.
And
I will say, however,
on the street sign you see Brooklyn.
Okay. which is weird because they're technically not from Brooklyn. I know they have the Brooklyn accent. They're from New Donk City, I guess.
No, they're technically from Brooklyn.
Yeah, New Donk City is a new place that features with Paulina's or not Paulina's.
Well, Miyamoto did say that Donkey Kong takes place in there. I guess they were born there. Maybe they moved there, I guess, or whatever.
No. Again, New Donk City is part of like the Mushroom Kingdom verse.
Oh yeah, okay. No,
yeah. Mario and Luigi are legit from like our world. Yeah, like legit the real world idea. And that's what they're that's like the reference that like Jablonski was like going.
There are Yoshis in there as well, which means they might be sticking to the 7-star children's story. So yeah, which is interesting.
Maybe.
So, which means they have to try and if they're gonna do that, they have to introduce Wario at one point. So yeah.
That's probably you're like you said, like a lead up to the sequel.
Maybe if they're able to make one, hopefully, I'm just hoping it doesn't suck. Anyway,
for after credit stinger, it's pitch black. And then all of a sudden you hear.
So, do we show up now? Like it's just voiceovers, just like pitch black.
Yeah.
But besides that as well too, I did love the scene like in the trailer of them like we get to see them in their own carts.
Oh yeah, they've somehow fit Mario Kart in there.
I also thought it was interesting that I also thought it was interesting that the levels in the game are in the movie to the point where they're like just floating in the sky for like no real reason.
Well, that's based off of the game again, like. And like again,
sure.
You also see like
there's a Hot Wheels track up there.
You also see like the idea of how like we would see it in a 2D format, like how we're seeing it from one side, and like they're legit just like on a long platform and everything. Yeah, that legit plays into just like how a reference to the video game as well too, of like how you would just be playing it on a I don't know why I'm doing that, but like how you would be playing it on a Game Boy and everything.
I also like how they have Mario like fall on that one platform that like drops if you stand on for too long. I like how he's kind of learning the ropes there. He's like, yes.
And to think that's supposed to be a ride at Epic Universe at Universal.
If you take a look at it, as Mario was being beaten up by Donkey Kong, and where it just takes the camera to focus on him. If you look off to the side, all the the arena they're in is legit filled with water. So like this kind of plays into the theory of how like Mario, like the Mario games aren't like a real life scenario thing for him, where like it is like some sort of like play or just like some sort of event.
Yeah, of course.
People have played off. And that kind of ties into it because like that makes sense because like he's failing some of these obstacle courses, I'll put it as, and it makes sense. This is how he's able to keep repeating him because I was like going, how if they're going off like game logic or that world or something like that, how is it that he would probably like come back to life after like his final Mamma Mia, and then it's just like, wait, I'm back? It's just like, yeah, Mario, go. It's like, wait. Explain to just what just happened there. Oh yeah, someone just put a quarter in the machine. That's all.
Someone put a quarter.
You got an extra life. Wreck-It Logic.
Anyway, the Super Mario Bros. Movie will be premiering on April 7, 2023. I'm hoping for one more trailer.
We'll probably get one more trailer.
Yeah, I can see one more.
Two.
Next trailer we got here it's for something that pretty much everybody says, oh yeah, I like that movie. It's cool that this is coming out. Next up is Night at the Museum. The Kuhmunrah rises again. I've seen the first two Nights at the Museum. They were pretty good, and the last one I haven't seen, but from what I heard it's okay.
It was sweet.
Honestly, after Battle of the Smithsonian, I so badly want to see Showdown at the Louvre.
Showdown at the Louvre, man.
That's what I wanted to see. Yeah.
Oh my god. Yeah. What was the last one? It was Secret of the Tomb, was it?
I thought it was.
I want to say so.
Yes. It's probably worth mentioning that it was the last time Robin Williams was on film, and as well as Mickey Rooney. So there's that. But yeah, let me see how the last one did. 47%. It's okay, I guess. If you want to see Robin Williams' last performance, there you go, as Theodore Roosevelt, which is pretty good.
There's worse things to plop your kids in front of.
So what's the deal with? So Kuhmunrah rises again. So what's this movie about? Let me look this up here and see what we got. I didn't even know this was going to be a thing. It's just what?
If I remember right, Kuhmunrah was the name of the younger brother, right?
No, Kuhmunrah was the villain in Battle of the Smithsonian.
Oh, okay.
The dude that's like, I am back.
No, yeah. I got him and his brother's name confused.
Yep. Nick Daly, son of Larry. Apparently, Nick Daly is not being played by what's his face? Was it Billy Crystal or no, Ben Stiller?
Yeah.
Billy Crystal.
I don't know why I said Billy Crystal. So yeah, Ben Stiller's not back as him. So, Nick Daly, son of Larry, becomes the new night guard at the Museum of Natural History. However, when he forgets to lock the basement door, an old foe returns with a plan to take over the world. And we got a lot there. This time we got Thomas Lennon as Theodore Roosevelt. You may know him from movies such as well, he's an actor. I haven't seen a lot of his stuff, I'm sorry.
I'm just hearing this and then just thinking like,
He was-
wow.
Oh, here he is.
Of all the other...
Here's a good one. Here,
Nah.
he was in Hitchhiker's Guide to the Galaxy. He was Eddie the shipboard computer.
I'm just kind of hearing this plot and like just thinking like, of all the possible candidates for a real like night guard that they're probably looking for, Larry just was like, you know what? How about I hire my cousin or my brother or
No, it was
whatever.
his son. It was his son, because he was the only one that knows about the museum existing, like coming to life.
Yeah.
So it's like
Okay.
he's passing the curse onto him, for lack of a better example. You know what I mean? It's like a figure of speech. Like not the curse. Well, I guess it is kind of a curse that they come to life, but you know. When I say curse, I mean not in negative context. I mean not all curses are evil, I guess, but whatever.
I was gonna say, I feel like by definition, the curse is what is like the evil thing. Like
What would be the
hex,
what,
like
what,
I know like hexes and curses are usually.
what would
like,
be the good
definition.
equivalence of it?
Blessing? I don't know.
Yeah. Maybe I have to go to Google for this one.
Miracle? I don't know.
Miracle?
Like
Can
I mean, like when I play D&D and
are
like in like
curses
RPGs, it's like
exclusively evil? Are all curses evil? The first result I got was, are all curses the same?
Well, no, I mean, because one involves a type of writing. That's not evil.
Shut the fuck up, Cruiser. Anyway, I'm one of the well, the point is the kid's doing the thing there. He's coming back, and the trailer itself, it's animated. It looks like something from PBS Kids. It's like weird.
It's
But-
weird, but at the same time, I can't say that I don't want to watch it.
Yeah, I kind of want to see what happens next. At least they're not repeating the formula where a new museum guard has to like deal with the fact that the museum's come to life. I am expecting him to do the same thing, to have the same instructions he gives to his son, that the security guard from the first movie gave Ben Stiller.
I think he'd probably just like would like during like the beginning or like the first like 15 or 20 minutes or something like that, we get like a small introduction. It's just like him going over the rules.
Yep. Ben Stiller, him talking about, did I tell you that time I made out with a wax sculpture of Amelia Earhart? Oh my god. I don't remember anything that happened in the second movie, but even I remember that being as a kid going like, what? Sad, because I actually thought she was a good whoever that was. Who was the girl who plays Amelia Earhart in that movie?
I forget.
Shit, let me see here. Here, Battle of the Smithsonian, was it? Yeah, let me see. Amelia Earhart was played by Amy Adams. I thought she was great in that role. Really captured out what you'd expect Amelia Earhart to be: adventurous, cunning.
The one scene from that one that I am just like loving is just like the when they go to dang, what was the part of the Smithsonian that they were in, like
The Lincoln
where
Memorial.
it was where they had like all the flying machines, astronauts, like everything to do with like just flying in space.
The Air and Space Museum.
Astronomy?
Yeah, just like in that spot, and like literally everyone is just like getting into place, like just to take off and everything. It's just like going like, whoa, what the hell? Like they were legit about to like take off in a real, or like their version of a spaceship.
Yeah. But yeah, if you want to see that, I guess it's coming out on December 9th. Actually, that's
nice.
5 days from now. So yeah.
I'll check it out.
Disney Plus or theaters?
Disney Plus. They own the movie rights.
Yay.
Next up is Transformers: Rise of the Beasts. Unfortunately, I'm not really a big fan or didn't really grow up with Beast Wars, so I'm gonna let Kuma and Jablonski cover this one. All I will say is it's coming out June 9th, 2023. Try not to be too long. We got literally like 3 more trailers.
This is probably the
ending
first
of it.
Yeah. One of my friends, he said if we don't get if the villain ends up being the T-Rex Megatron, if it doesn't have the original voice for that, it's gonna suck.
That would be interesting if they did, and if they are going based off of I know the first 3 were like a gorilla, a rat,
And a cheetah.
and a cheetah. Okay, yeah, I thought it was a leopard, but yeah, like that was the thing with them. Like they start off as beasts, right? Like just like as the animals, and then like they do something or they say something, and it
it was
allows
originally
them...
in the original show. It was they did what they did with the cars, is that they scanned the animals and then they transformed into those animals.
Now I'm assuming Michael Bay is not making this, right?
I can't remember off the top of my head.
Going to the
I can
thing.
look that up.
I'm on it. I'm like officially done with.
Wait, is that what they're doing in the movie? Because like,
No, actually, he is not directing this. He is producing it.
so
Just
he
like
will
Ninja
have a
Turtles.
say. He will have a say in something, I bet.
It's a pretty script. Can I touch it?
It's like the kid trying to reach for the cookie and then no.
I forget which
Well, we
one.
want more
I forget which
explosions.
version I remember though, because like I remember like there is one where like they're beasts, but like then they say something. I think it's like they say beast form or change form or transform, and then they just like they like start
predatize and animalize or something.
Yeah, they get like metal on their body all of a sudden. Like,
Yeah, that's I can't remember the exact name, but I know exactly what you're talking about.
Yeah,
it's
I think
it's like the advanced form of that.
Yeah, it's just like them, like, because remembering all 3 of them was just like something I was going like, yeah, there were only just 3, huh?
No, there was more than that, but
yeah, later on, but I meant like in the beginning because I was really just like thinking.
Yeah.
Well, for me, it was just like those first 3. I was going like, huh.
I do like.
It's kind of funny how it just starts off with that.
I do like how Optimus Prime has looks close to what his original cartoon form looks like, as well as like seeing like Bumblebee and RC looking close to their cartoon form, which I thought was pretty cool.
The one thing I will say, I will give Michael Bay, aside from the fact that I still like the first Transformers movie, is that he did recently admit that, yeah, he made too many. He made too many Transformer movies. He admitted it. Now, granted, the studios were pushing for him to make it, but still, he could have passed on it. So I will at least give him that.
Yeah, right. Like he was gonna pass on that money.
I'm looking at some of the these casting choices. And of course, Peter Cullen, Optimus Prime. They got Ron Perlman for Primal. For Optimus Primal, they got
Ron Perlman, really?
Yeah.
Fucking Mortal Kombat, the animated series?
No, Hellboy.
Yeah, what?
Yeah, you didn't know that? Know that, Ron Perlman?
Let's see. They got Pete Davidson as Mirage.
Hey, that'll be
Davidson.
interesting.
Also, it's worth mentioning that Ron Perlman has already voiced Optimus Primal in Power of the Primes.
Yeah,
which is pretty cool.
Yeah, but he's no match against my Amazon Prime.
Yeah. I'm gonna butcher this like crazy. Toby Newigui, I can't pronounce it for the life of me. He's gonna be playing Reek. Lisa Koshy is going to be playing RC.
You could say that last name.
Oh my god. Peter Dinklage is in this movie.
Yeah, as Scourge.
Is he voicing a character or playing one?
Voicing.
Okay.
Also,
Max.
Wait, who's playing Cheetor?
I don't know. No, got a full. I'm only looking on
Wikipedia,
between Google and IMDb.
They didn't give Cheetor.
I must admit, when it comes to the Transformers cartoons, I actually do have a soft spot for Rescue Bots and Rescue Bots Academy. It was definitely a more kiddish iteration of the series, but something about it I just thought was so charming, and surprisingly, it was the longest running series of that franchise. It actually reached 100 Rescue Bots.
Oh yeah, Rescue Bots.
Yeah, it somehow got to 100 episodes. No other iteration of the franchise made it that far. Go figure.
David Soblov is going to be playing Rhinox.
That sounds like such a drug reference. Dude, I got some Rhinox here. You want to try it?
No, this
I'm not
like
seeing
something your
anything
doctor
for
prescribed
Cheetor
you
yet.
for your leg.
Rhinox.
I'm not seeing anything for Cheetor yet, but like I said, I'm honestly looking forward to this one.
So you have more faith in this than the other Bayformer films.
Okay, let's see.
I still need to see Bumblebee too. Everyone says that's good.
Yeah, Bumblebee's pretty good. The ones I like the first one.
I do too.
Second one, I can't say that I enjoyed it, but at the same time, I didn't like absolutely hate it either.
Aside the racial stereotypes, I think it's a guilty pleasure for me.
So it's okay. The second one was okay.
Second one was okay.
Shirt collar okay.
Third one was shirt collar okay.
Third one I just wanted to shut up.
Third one I liked a bit more. It was still in that kind of okay range. There was some scenes in there that I actually liked. I haven't seen Age of I don't think I've really seen Age of Extinction, so I don't have.
Is that the one where Optimus Prime has a dinosaur for a dick?
That's the one where they introduced the Dinobots.
Yes. And then we got the last night, a film that nobody saw, and I saw what the closing credit scenes, and I looked at it and shook my head and said, "No, you waited too long."
I haven't seen that. I didn't see the last night either. So.
The last night, the final credits.
Yeah, I never saw.
No. I'm just gonna tell you what happens at the end of the credit scene. They tease show Unicron's horn. I'm like, "No, you waited too long. You waited too long. Fuck you. You waited too long."
The third I didn't like, and I didn't even bother with the fourth one. I thought, nope, you guys lost.
Big props to Doug Walker for being able to predict the entire plot of the last night.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's like I don't hate the Bayformers movies. It's kind of like with unlike with the TMNT movie, which I feel like the first one was just kind of Second one I liked. But I'm looking forward to what's coming next.
I don't know if you
with
guys
this one.
If you want to see it, it's coming out June 9th, 2023.
Yeah.
Apologize, we gotta keep going. We still got the new stuff there.
Yeah,
Okay.
keep going.
Next up, we got a trailer for the Guardians of the Galaxy 3.
Yay.
Honestly, I like how the Guardians in this shot have like their original uniforms on. And they're also
Not original. They're from the 2008. I think it was a 2008
they have their comic uniforms.
comic
essentially.
series. Yeah, 2008 comic uniforms.
Yeah, it's really interesting stuff there. Let me see what we got for a plot here. Here for the movie. Let's see. Obviously, I'm going to assume Gamorra's. After purchasing Nowhere from the Collector, the Guardians of the Galaxy attempt to make it a safe haven for refugees displaced by the Blip. After a brutal attack, Peter Quill is still reeling from the loss of Gamorra. Must rally the Guardians on a mission to defend the universe and protect one of their own from a dangerous common enemy. It's weird. You see like a lot of good stuff. Like they land in this like suburban furry planet.
Suburban furry.
Okay, so I was watching a video about the little references and all that. The furry planet or whatever you guys are calling it, is an alternate world that is like I think it was like a millisecond or so behind our world.
Yeah.
And it's full of essentially the High Evolutionaries projects, which were essentially like rocket.
Oh, is it like? Oh, yeah, because we get to see friggin' the High Evolutionaries in the movie. The guy who created Rocket.
Yep.
And who's he being played by?
Shit. Remember.
Let me see here.
You get a cough drop.
Dude, you fucking choking in there, dude.
Come on.
Damn.
Again, a name I cannot pronounce for the life of me.
Yeah. But like,
he was
go on.
he was freaking he was someone in Peacemaker, like Clemson Morn. So he was in John Wick 2.
Anyway, he's gonna.
He was a Coney in John Wick 2.
Yeah.
Um,
Chud Woody, Iwuji? Yeah. Here's the other thing there. Let's just face it. The one thing everybody's been looking forward to in this movie is Adam Warlock.
Yep.
And he's in there. For like a brief second. I actually had to check in with Jablonski saying, wait, was this Adam?
Yeah.
And I'm like, wow, I briefly missed him. He didn't really do anything. It's like, come on, you got Adam Warlock. He's a powerful character in the Marvels. He's pretty important. He is important to the Marvel Universe, right?
At some
Adam
point.
Warlock, yes.
Yeah, and you just have him you could have at least teased him at the very end.
I could have.
We're finally getting that payoff.
Yeah.
I could have.
But
But
originally, originally in the comics, High Evolutionary was the one that created him.
Yeah, but this time they're doing something a little different with the what was the name of the race?
Yeah, they changed it.
What was the name of the race?
I can't remember.
Race of gold people that have the best idea for a concept of starships. Where they're arcade cabinets instead of like actually in the ship. I still think that idea was ingenious. But yeah, that's coming out. We'll have to see where that goes. I really need to see more. Everybody's just going crazy for Adult Group and Baby Rocket.
Yeah.
We'll see what happens next summer. Next up, we should probably wait for Cruiser to come back because I know he's a big fan of Indiana Jones.
Oh, there it is.
Dun, dun, dun.
So Cruiser's back. Okay, he's getting his headphones on.
Fucking A.
So Cruiser, we're back here. We're just talking about the next one here. I wanted your opinion on this because I know you're a big fan of this franchise. We're going to talk about Indiana Jones 5, or as it's called now, The Dial of Destiny.
Yeah, doesn't this have to deal with time travel?
Well, here's
No, it seems like
Sounds
we're
like
gonna
it.
be. It seemed to me. I thought it was like we're gonna be like focusing like something on his past or something like that.
here's the premise. In 1969, American archaeologist and adventurer Indiana Jones lives against the backdrop of the space race. Jones had started to feel doubts when the U.S. government recruited former World War II enemies in their desperation to defeat the Soviet Union out in the competition to make it to space. His goddaughter Helena accompanies him on his journey. Meanwhile, Voller, a NASA member and ex-Nazi involved with the moon landing program, wishes to make the world into a better place as he sees fit. Why do they keep trying to put Indiana Jones in space?
All I'm going to say is, after people bitching about aliens in Indiana Jones, if you're not going to complain about this, then you should have never been complaining about aliens in Indy. Okay, if you can believe ghosts popping out of a box and melting the face off Nazis, you can believe in aliens in Indiana Jones.
Yeah, I had no problems
guess,
with them doing that for Indiana Jones.
I honestly didn't
Yeah,
see it,
I mean,
so
like,
I
if
really don't have any voice of opinion on it. So
I mean, you
Ultimately,
can't really compare aliens and ghosts, but yeah, I guess believing in the other is like just kind of odd if you don't believe in one.
And the other thing too is the line. There was a line in Kingdom of the Crystal Skull that really just drove the point home. He said, "Depends on who your god is. You know, it's all about a higher power." And some of these people did believe in what could easily be translated into as aliens or interpreted as aliens.
Yeah.
So I didn't think that was very far fetched. Now, one thing that a friend of mine pointed out was the reason why he didn't like it is because the movie felt like a smaller scale compared to the other ones, which I think is an interesting criticism. But Spielberg did answer to that. He said he originally did not want to do a fourth indie movie, but when this came up, he said he didn't really want it to be a sequel. He wanted to be what he called a blood relative to the other movies. So basically, it was a nostalgia movie. It was a small scale nostalgia movie, and people were complaining about obviously the gophers, the monkeys, the fridge, or the battle in the jungle that was CG. As far as the battle in the jungle goes, you know, they originally went to Hawaii to film that. However, a storm was moving in, and they had to move production indoors. There was nothing they could do about that. As far as the gophers and the monkeys, like, it's only a few seconds, people. Like, shut up.
Are you talking about
fridge-
Kingdom of the Crystal Skull?
Yeah.
Okay.
anyway,
Yeah.
it is cool to see Ford back as Indiana Jones. Honestly, he still
It is, don't get me wrong.
he still has that wit and everything there. Heck, they even kind of stay close to the age. I mean, in Raiders, Indiana Jones is like 37, and this one, he's like clearly in his 60s or 70s. So you know, I do like that.
Some of the de-aging is pretty cool.
Yeah, I do like that one scene at the end of the trailer where he packs the whip and then everybody in the room pulls a gun on him.
Yeah,
Yeah. Kind of the reverse of what happened in
the
In the
With-
first
with-
movie.
yeah.
in the first
With
movie.
the sword and the gun.
Yeah.
Yeah.
No, yeah,
Fuck
yeah.
this.
So so many people so many people say that's basically the reference.
Yes, there was one part in the trailer that kind of got me. Isn't there a part in the movie in the trailer where like Indy's like saying like I don't believe in magic?
Mhm.
I feel like I know where they're going with it.
I'm like,
I
did you not see everything that happened in your previous adventures?
Exactly.
Like you saw a guy get his heart ripped out of his body, which wasn't with his torso not open. You saw a guy's face melt.
That's not really magic.
That's that. I consider that to be a film error.
Yeah, like come
Well,
on.
no. I meant like that can be done. It's just like not like just how they're doing like that, but it
Or like
He
like
reaches in
serving
his
his
body.
father the Holy Grail.
yeah, that can be done, dude. Like with enough
Yeah.
force, someone could really drive into your chest.
Yeah,
And-
that's not the part. The part is that there was like no hole left.
There's
over.
like no hole or like blood or anything. He just literally like phases through his body and pulls out the heart, and and the guy's still breathing, by the way.
That's why I consider it to be a film editor's error.
Yeah, it's like okay.
Like some that they forgot to do. It wasn't part of the story. But yeah, I know what you mean. There's a lot. Indy has seen magic, and you're gonna throw that line at us.
I have
Maybe it's a
feeling I know
different
where
kind
this
of
movie
magic
is
he's
going,
referring
though.
to.
I want to hear what Jablonski has to say.
Okay. So with the de-aging process, with the de-aging and all that, and with what they're hinting at with the story, I have a sneaking suspicion they're probably going to do the Fountain of Youth.
Maybe.
It's debatable.
I can see that actually.
I've heard them.
I want to see more of their locations than possibly.
Because it's like they're trying to get him back into the saddle, and he's going, "I'm too old for this shit." And we're like, "Well, what if there is a way?" And we know of a way.
I don't think we go for that, honestly. No.
Either way, it would bring Harrison Ford to Florida.
No, well, I have a feeling it'll probably be like they'll say, "Oh, the Fountain of Youth isn't in Florida," like everyone said it was.
Yeah.
No, yeah, that's like another theory.
Yeah. If it was in Florida, freaking all the old fucking people wouldn't be there.
Actually,
well, they're still alive. But
Actually,
I could see that being like a side plot, maybe.
Actually, Jablonski, well, I don't know whether or not you consider this canon. The Fountain of Youth is actually a plot point in the Indiana Jones adventure ride, from what I've heard.
Yeah, I've heard that too.
I've been on it. It's an okay ride. I have to go on it again. The scene with the bird is pretty good.
A majority of the effects don't really work. I've heard a lot of what the original effects were.
We'll see what happens there. Anyway,
I want to see more trailers and depending on like more locations. Yeah, I would probably.
But I'm just gonna do this one as my.
And last,
I'm calling it. I'm doing a prediction that it's going to be about the Fountain of Youth.
Yes. And lastly, we have a trailer for.
Who's directing this movie?
Okay, hold on. Jones in the Dial of
James Mangold.
Okay. Anyway, gotta get through this last one. Might have to say the news after Hooked on Harmonics. The last one is the mean one.
I can't wait.
It wouldn't be any worse than what Illumination did.
Yeah.
Oh shit! Okay, that's what he did.
And to be honest, I never hated the Jim Carrey version.
Me neither. I thought it was okay.
No,
it was very entertaining.
Not the best movie, but it was funny.
Yep. I mean, well.
And they still captured the core and the spirit of the original story.
Yes, I mean, like, I don't hate my thing with the Jim Carrey movie is that, like, I like it, but I can't say it's a good movie. It's clearly just whatever. But
Why
the
are you
meme
talking
one,
about the Jim Carrey version?
Yeah, I know. Why? Maybe because he's the only other creepy Grinch that's aside this one. So let's see what this situation is about.
I mean, the animated one was pretty creepy too.
Which one? The original or the 2018?
Oh, the original. The original.
Oh, I thought you said the Illumination one. I was gonna no, Kuma, he was going to be creepy, but parents threw a shit fit, so they made him cuter. It's a true story.
I didn't mind the 2018 one that much.
Yeah.
In all honesty,
it's whatever.
No, the original animation one was creepy just because like.
Oh yeah, it's creepy.
Yeah, it was just creepy with his
he
smile.
He is a
and
scary
everything.
dude. But like the whole thing with the Grinch, it's like I don't even really follow what this story's about, honestly. Like Cindy Lou's parents were killed by the Grinch, and now she wants to kill him.
Or she's like, like either
glorious right there.
It seems like she's like either plotting revenge or like her family is going on vacation and just happens to go to a new area that used to be where everything took place, I guess.
Let me see the premise is in the sleepy town.
The town they're going to is called New.
Yeah, I'm putting it here. In the sleepy town mountain town of Newville, young Cindy you know who. That name hurts. I'm sorry, that name hurts me. Anyway, witnessed her parents murdered by the Mean One. A bloodthirsty green-skinned creature dressed in a red Santa suit. 20 years later, as the ravenous monster begins to terrorize the town and threatens to ruin the holidays, she finds a new purpose in stopping the killing and killing the beast. Just tell.
I mean, there's like a whole scene in the trailer where she's like right there gearing up and everything. Has a bat with Christmas lights on it.
Yeah, it was pretty cool. But you know, it's
I like it.
I'm just gonna save my rant for the Bambi movie. But like, wait, where did Jablonski go?
Oh, I don't know.
So you guys are looking forward to it, essentially.
Honestly, why not? I mean, we have a horror Winnie the Pooh coming out. Bring it on.
Yeah, we have all these horror things already being made, so like, yeah, just add it to the pyre.
I mean, some people say is nothing sacred anymore. I'm like, guys, it's just cheesy fun. That's all it is.
And what is sacred?
Huh?
I don't know, just like the whole thing of just like how.
Yes, someone once said, like, with all these like horror remakes coming out of like all these properties, someone's response to it is nothing sacred anymore. I'm thinking, come on, it's just cheesy fun. That's all it is.
All the Who's down in Whoville were ready to cap a bitch, but there was one in particular, Cindy Lou Who, and she had a mount ready for his head.
Yeah, they have freaking like they have like freaking festive looking shotguns, handguns. there's a Glock. There's a Glock
grenade
9
with a bow on it.
No. They have like a Glock 9 and like a freaking like wrapping paper design.
See, this is why it's just cheesy fun, folks. Like, it's gonna come and go. Just enjoy the stupidness of it, okay?
Enjoy the ride.
Yeah, we have like where like the 80s and 90s had what were those movies like spoof movies or
like scary movie, epic movie, and
just like movies that just like like you knew everyone, like the whole story is meant just for everyone to die, or like
pretty much
like you knew that was the whole premise, like, oh well, like it's a cheesy scary movie, but like the whole point is just to see these people die, just like however like they're meant to, or something like that. So I kind of see it like that, just because like again, these are just like fictional characters no one would ever think of to go insane when like this. To me, the Mean One is just like a what if for the Grinch, honestly.
Yeah, we'll call this one Rule 33.
There. That's my that's literally my problem with this. I find it weird. The only thing that's just bugging me is you got a company they're already planning one for Peter Pan and one for Bambi. My thing is like, okay, like, is this going to be what your studio is going to do for every movie? Like, you're just going to do this?
Why not? Let's do a lethal version.
You want to know what the worst part about this is?
What?
It's not so much that I hate the movie. I hate the fact that I got to like this marketing strategy.
I mean, that's kind of the point.
No,
let's hope they'll do like a lethal version of Wild and Crazy Kids now.
Not really.
Or maybe it's just a hidden temple.
Like, honestly, I feel like if they like work it right, this studio and / company could make it where like, again, just based off of like what we're seeing of their style and everything, and like their cinematography and the way. And
you want to know what I'm? But here's
I could see them. I'm not finished. Goddamn. I could see them kind of like making their own versions of coming out with like the original monster movies as well too.
Well, anyway, before we go to Hooked on Harmonics, I guess I might as well put this thing that's going to put a lot of ideas in people's heads that I'm really kind of not looking forward to, but you guys are probably going to celebrate it, so I'm just going to say we'll be right back with Hooked on Harmonics after I say this. Mickey Mouse enters the public domain at the end of 2023.
cool. I mean,
Dude, you need to stop thinking of Disney as this wholesome, magical.
Yeah,
company.
No,
like-
dude, I was,
Yeah,
dude,
like-
dude, I'm not being serious. I'm like friggin' being my.
Are you ready
It
for
feels
a
like it.
toy?
It feels like it, dude.
Freaking,
Is it?
freaking Mickey Mouse
I mean, it's
holding my
believable. Come
goddamn
on.
axe.
Like honestly,
And,
no,
like-
like honestly, with my feel. Okay, I gotta put on hip harmonics. Like honestly, with my.
What's going on, Nation? This is the Concert Cruiser. Today on Hooked on Harmonics, we're going to talk about a band that I actually just saw in concert not too long ago. We're going to be looking at Motionless in White. Now, Motionless in White has been around for some time, and I've even seen them at a few festivals in the past, but they never really quite clicked with me. There was something about it that just never caught my attention. But recently, I've been noticing they've been amping up the theatrics, and when I just saw them on the Trinity of Terror tour, that's when they started to click with me. They have a more industrial like sound, and the song that I would recommend people checking out is a song called Werewolves. And they performed that song live. It was fantastic. It had this digital yet not overbearing metal sound to it. And I especially liked how they slipped in a reference to Somebody's Watching Me by Rockwell. I thought that was great. And just I can't stress this enough. Subtlety does matter in music. It's just the imagery you need to help back it up. And with this, they definitely nailed that. And having I think they called them Cherry Girls, who come out and actually do some theatrics. Like they had this weird metal plate on their crotch, took an angle grinder to it, and shot off sparks across the stage. Very interesting, but effective. They had those girls would come out and wave flags for Motionless in White that were great. They had these LEDs on ropes that they would swing around. It was fantastic. And they even did a cover of Somebody Told Me by the Killers, which, as catchy as that song is, I have to ask, when I first heard the chorus line, which is somebody told me that you had a boyfriend that looked like a girlfriend that I had in February, I got to ask, who's dating the transvestite here? I don't get it. It's a catchy song, but I really don't get the lyrics. But the cover came out great, and it worked well with their sound and style. And for all those out there who love Pride, they do too. They actually have Pride flags for sale that have their logo on it. So this is a Pride-friendly band for those who are interested. So I would definitely recommend checking them out. Be sure to check out Werewolves, and you can even check out the set list that I saw on my Spotify. So this is Concert Cruiser for Hooked on Harmonics. They have this pride flag that has their logo on it.
Interesting.
So
Anyway,
yeah.
let's get through the next thing here. Welcome back to another nerdy episode, another nerdy. So yeah, I ended it with the meme one here because I just want to talk about this Bambi movie situation. So for those who I guess know, Bambi was a book that's a coming-of-the-age story about the life of a deer and tackles the themes of survival and man's contempt for nature. Later turned into a Disney film that was pretty close not close to the book. It actually had a similar feel with the same messages. And now of course they're probably going to get a soon to be live action remake. So it was announced that the same company is making a Bambi horror film. And so they quote by saying the film will be incredibly dark retelling of the 1920 story we all know. And how do you make Bambi darker? My God.
Well, it's already a traumatic movie, so
you
already have your template.
Well, Bambi's a fucked up book, honestly. There's there's violence, there's blood, there's gore, there's friggin' loss. It's a sick book, man. Even its sequel is even more violent and gory. Disney only made a comic adaptation of it, which is really interesting. But, yeah. they said Bambi will be a vicious killing machine that lurks in the wilderness. Prepare for Bambi on rabies. Oh my god.
I mean, well, that's one way. Yeah, I mean, yeah, just like Bambi has rabies.
And like I said, it's already a traumatic movie. I can easily see how it can turn into a horror film,
Yeah, like you could turn
or at least
in there
or at least a thriller, or at least a
Just-
thriller.
shock horror.
Just
even
up to a
shock horror.
moment, yeah. Just up
I mean,
to a
heck,
moment, I'd say.
Yeah,
Like,
especially
I wasn't
no,
that traumatized.
Like-
Really.
Like even if you want like I get it, they're clearly making a parody movie, but like, dude, have you read the 2 books? Like you have your horror movie right there. You have a shock horror movie there.
Well, yeah, I guess like maybe that's what they'll probably take reference from. Like if you're asking how could they do it, and you're just like literally telling us how.
Just adapt the book. Don't make a parody.
Well, like they don't necessarily have to really like
I mean, to
again.
be honest, it's probably a way to how to differentiate themselves from the Disney films. Because let's face it, if you like all those classic films were already stories were in the public domain, but everyone is always going to associate them with Disney.
Yes,
so maybe this is just a way for them to be their own.
Admittedly,
Not
that
be
is the
Disney.
one thing I really don't like about classic Disney movies, is that the fact that they kind of are like the defined version rather than kind of like seeing more what the book had to bring. I mean, there are some exceptions in some places, like, Pinocchio, The Little Mermaid, that kind of stuff. But, like, yeah, I kind of feel like there's a lot of people that, like, even when I brought this up in our chat, the first thing someone said was, I didn't even know this was a book. And I'm like, yeah, it's a book, a pretty dark book. A book that was burned by the Nazis, actually, but yeah.
And Evan, I'll tell you this: like, I didn't know it was a book either. Like when you made that too, because I was going like, I think I remember someone talking about that, but like, no, just like how Cruiser just said, like, where, yeah, if they're trying to make this a whole different thing from Disney, like, it's kind of a good way to do it, because like again, like, one way to always like I don't know about you guys, like, Disney was always the thing that made things more appropriate for children, or at least that was more catered for children to be shown towards children. Like I can name more like Disney trailers than like I can name like more than like toy commercials, but like most of those toy commercials would still be Disney related, probably.
No, I'm not disagreeing with you.
I will say this. If we do not get the fucking Rock in this movie, we riot. And he has to play Bambi.
Yeah.
Or at least his father.
You want to know what's actually something really kind of dark? Yeah, I won't go into too many details, because to explain it, I'd have to like retell the whole book. But if you were to look at Bambi at a really certain way, you could actually turn it into a Holocaust movie.
You actually could.
Yeah, you legitimately could. That's actually one of the reasons why the Nazis burned the book, because he felt like it would invoke sympathy towards Jews. Especially with the author being Jewish, so yeah. You have to go through the book, because it's literally just a small race being killed by a quote unquote more powerful race, and everything like that. But yeah, you could easily turn Bambi into like a World War II Holocaust story. But I digress. So let's go on to what do you guys think on your final thoughts on this Bambi horror movie?
Let me see a trailer.
Yeah.
Because the older I get, and sorry, go ahead.
No, I'm just agreeing with that.
Because honestly, the older I get, and the more I kind of like analyze and look over popular media, there's really no such thing as a bad idea, just a bad executions.
Like, I had this one question here. Can you make an animated horror movie?
Yes.
Doesn't anime do that a lot?
No, not
Yeah,
anime.
it
Not
does.
anime. Not anime. An actual be it 3D or 2D animated movie that was made in America, and that kind of stuff. I know that's not. You know what I mean. You guys know what I'm trying to say exactly.
Yeah, but at the same time, though, anime is basically a cartoon. And doesn't anime tend to dabble in that kind of stuff?
No, anime is not.
Well, they have a genre. There's a genre of it. So
Yeah.
So
Also,
it
dude,
sounds like it's-
anime is not an art. Is an art style. You even
Point
said
is, dude,
it's
it's still a
still-
cartoon. It's plausible, is what I'm getting at.
and I kept telling you, Cruiser, I gave you the suggestion to check out Junji Ito's work because he is he is classified as the
Oh yeah.
horror anime king.
definitely.
It's like if you make a horror anime, 9 times out of 10, you're going to be compared to him.
Mostly like horror imagery.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
The guy- yeah, the
Uzumaki
guy-
is probably the
Yeah.
best one, the most known, I should say, of his work.
Yeah, like it's not just like horror like manga he's done. It's literally like looking at like some of his work. He has like just this odd way of just making these just
Things
like,
extremely unsettling.
There's a lot.
just
to
like
put it simply,
very
there's a lot.
disturbing imagery. Just like not to where it's horroring. It's just like where it's just like disturbing. Where like
It's still he's still technically horror.
Essentially, what you're saying is there's a lot of Gudo.
Oh yeah. Well, not gore, essentially. But
no. Again, it's just like it's like taking surreal art, but like making it more like horror specific to where like you're questioning if it's meant to horrify you or just meant to make you just be disturbed.
and that's what kind of irritates me about the horror genre in general is that a lot of people will instantly think, oh, it's like blood and guts, all that. Not necessarily. Not all the time.
Yeah, like and I know I talked about this in a previous stream. One of Finn the Pony's favorite horror films was Coraline, and I do consider it to be a horror film because it may not be blood and guts, but it is creepy.
Yeah, I'm the same way with the second
that
Doctor
is-
Strange movie.
Yeah, so there's varying degrees or textures of horror, and
Yeah, that's like a suspenseful horror.
yeah. So no, horror definitely does not need to be blood and guts all the time. It's a spectacle, but it's not. It's not. What's the word I'm looking for here? It's not a requirement.
No.
No, not really.
Yeah,
Like it helps in some ways, but
I mean, look at what.
Yeah, like the
Okay.
Well, I was gonna say like the remake of The Evil Dead. I think that is a grossly underrated horror film.
same.
I mean, like with me, like when I made Snow and Mount Silver, I was not showing the Pokemon's getting mutilated. I showed the after effects, and they were just still images, and they still worked. So yeah.
Hmm.
But yeah, it was very much the atmosphere I was mainly focusing on, trying to build the creepy atmosphere when it was shown, not like, and yeah, there were jump scares, but Anyway.
Yeah, I
Right.
never had a problem with jump scares. It seems like when Five Nights at Freddy's like skyrocketed, that's when everybody hated jump scares all of a sudden. You could say that it was based on they used it too much, but as a technique, it's fine.
It has to be utilized really well. You have to plan the surprise.
Yeah, I was gonna say it's just how the way one uses jump scares. I'll say.
It's kind of like what they did with the
Yeah.
with the remake of Resident Evil, like the famous scene where the dogs come in the hallway in the original one. The second one, they knew that was coming, so they tricked the player by having it not happen until you go back.
And even if you go back and play the original of that, even though you know it's still coming, it still scares the shit out of you.
Yeah, it's like Jason Voorhees in the boat.
It's like that's when you know you did it right. And Five Nights at Freddy's, I'm sorry, but they did it right.
Or that hotel scene from Zero Dark 30.
Yeah.
Even when I know that scene is coming, I have my fists like clenched in my. I saw that in theaters, man. Me and my dad were fucking freaking out. I gotta see that movie again. That was a good movie. Anyway, speaking of movies, the Sam Raimi, something from his one of his movies that was canceled was found this week.
Dun, dun, dun.
Well, the Sam Raimi Spider-Man movies are definitely a nostalgic trick, be it the original, 2, and even 3. I think we've probably already heard Spider-Man 4 was in the works at the time, where Spider-Man would be fighting the Vulture, who was originally meant to be played by John Malkovich. So this week, comic writer Ken Penders was able to find the mechanical wings that were going to be used for the Vulture. And if you look at the ants chat, I actually put that picture on there of what they were going to look like. Like if you look right there in this tweet. There are other images of it, but I thought these things looked freaking awesome. Are you guys seeing it, or is it not there?
Let me see here.
Nope.
It's not there?
Ooh.
The ants chat.
Did I put it in the ants chat? No, I must have forgotten. Sorry. Hold on. Let me just upload that. Please excuse me. And here you go. You're right there. So yeah, this was him holding the in the costume.
Oh wow.
Those things look freaking cool, right?
Yeah, I could see it.
Like, here's the thing. When you look at, like, the Vulture and, like, the old school comics that were out at the time, the Vulture's wings were, like, they were down his arm. And they were, like, close to what you would see, like, the same length as the Falcon's wings in, like, the modern way. They're not, like, too over the top. They're just there. You know what I'm talking about? Like, arm's length in a way.
Mm-hmm.
Well, it's because he was actually, like, really trying to mimic a bird with
Yeah,
his whole costume of, like,
Concept
of
art.
actually, like, flapping and everything.
There was actually concept art of the Vulture, and it was pretty. The design was pretty close to the what they were going for in the new version, in the Spider-Man Homecoming one. Hold on, let me just see. I think I found there was I gotta find you a picture of the model sheet. Please excuse me. I meant to. I only had so long to look.
Besides how they did Green Goblin, most of the other villains actually kind of matched up similar to the comics almost.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I do like that, like... Oh my god, where the frick is it?
Because, like, I do know at the time they did have, like, other concepts of just, like, what they were gonna do with the Goblin at first. Like, they were gonna have, like, this whole, like, makeup prosthesis, like, kind of face he was gonna wear at first.
He was gonna have some mechanical stuff in there.
No, it was literally just gonna be like almost like a rubber mask at first, but just like bits, just like kind of just like bits that would just be glued onto him at first, then just like, you know, painted. But then they just kind of scrapped that and went with the mask idea, I think.
Definitely. Also, John Malkovich as the Vulture. That's a pretty good idea for
That would have
casting.
been funny.
That would be
That would've been very
hilarious,
funny,
man.
Yeah, with how the Vulture actually, like the Vulture, like how they actually are and everything.
Yeah, definitely.
Hearing this Shakespearean actor.
Like, what does the Vulture usually sound like? Is it like really that kind of Shakespearean? Is it like...
No. I just know like his personality kind of plays off like it, if I remember right.
Yeah.
I mostly remember from the video games, kind of. Like it was kind of like again, like almost kind of old manish.
Yeah, I always thought he had like this weird squawk ass voice. Let me see.
Really, like not like that. He just kind of really had like.
There it is. It's in the ants chat. You can I sent you a link to what his original concept was going to be. Because his wings, I like how in future movies they make the Vulture's wings really big.
Yeah.
For those at home, you can actually see.
I mean,
for those at home, this is what they're looking at right here. Let me just take.
Yeah, for like how these look again, it would kind of match more like again for his design versus like how they did with Tom Holland.
Yeah, with Michael Keaton.
Yeah,
which is really funny that they chose him to play the Vulture, because he played he was in Birdman. Like
Yeah.
Like, but yeah, I like the idea of the Vulture having these giant fucking wings rather than like what he originally looked like. But it's cool. I think I always thought the Vulture was more like a goofy looking villain, but they're like giving him more class and awesome upgrades like that.
I could be wrong. I don't. I think at like some point, like he develops like cancer or something like that. He like in like I forget like why he becomes the Vulture. Is what I'm
Let me
trying to
see
remember.
here.
Like either
Why?
I think it was something to do with cancer or something to do with some sort of medical thing. I think.
Let me see here. What is his motivation?
I think it was it was like something to do either medically or.
Let me see.
I
Let me look it up.
forget what it was.
Vulture motivation. It's been a while. Like I'm not a big fan of the Vulture. Like I like the Vulture. I'm not a fan. Vulture's motivation in Spider-Man explained. Oh, they're only going to probably give me the Homecoming one. He's a businessman with a family. He wants to look out for his kids. He's got a sort of Tony Soprano mentality. He doesn't have these big delusions of grandeur where he wants to take over the world or replace government or even defeat the Avengers or anything.
If that's from the movie, no.
Yeah, that's from Homecoming, unfortunately.
No, then skip it.
So yes, like he doesn't inject himself in any like serum or fuel himself with any chemicals of his power. He just maintains high. He just basically is a villain.
No, yeah, like again, I forget in the comics, but like yeah, he just like he kind of just makes his like again, he just inspires it from a bird, specifically the Vulture.
Yeah, I think one in the original one, it's according to this Reddit vlog, he was just a guy in it for the money.
Oh, okay then.
That was actually something I recently looked up that was mighty interesting. I'm like, yeah, when superheroes show up, why do villains suddenly show up? Like, why do they? And I found a lot of good motivations. You guys might already know some of these. Like, obviously, there are some villains who want to imitate that hero and take advantage of it for their own needs rather than the needs of the people, or like they want to try and wipe out the hero to like maintain order again. Yeah, or like there's different motivations for going evil, be it personal or like trying to be like that guy. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, freaking Lex Luthor's whole thing for going against Superman is just because he believes that Superman holds humanity back.
Yeah, and he also made him bald. That was an actual motivation at one point in the comics. The age of comic books where things were stupid.
I still enjoy the Adam West Batman. What can I say? It's just so out there that you can't believe it's canon.
It's like crazy. Like villains like try to be the hero and see the hero as the threat. G-Man, kind of like what you just said with Lex Luthor and everything there. It's just amazing.
Some also try to start off as heroes, then end up like becoming the evil one.
Yeah, they get corrupted by power and everything like that because they realize they can do this, but they can use it for their own needs.
So
yeah,
Evan, can I?
Sorry. No, go ahead. I'm trying to remember who.
Can I talk about what's happened to me in recent weeks?
All right, go ahead.
Okay, I have had quite an eventful last few weeks while I have not been on air. For starters, I went to a retro video game convention where I was really there to see my old friend Billy Mitchell, and turns out they had some pretty cool guests there. For example, they actually had the artist from the original Mortal Kombat game. Got this from him, had him signed. And that's going to be very, very nice. I like this piece. But there was also one other person there that Evan and I wanted to meet, but Evan could not. Evan, why don't you actually go snag what I got signed for you?
Yeah, hold on.
Mm-hmm.
It's got a lot to throw in there.
Yeah.
Rub it.
I met the creator of the worst game of all time, Howard Scott Warshaw.
I was saving this. All right, here it is right here. I got this at a video game store for free because the shop owner said just get it out of my store.
Yeah, if you look closely, he writes yours truly, then signs it. But I had him write down, "I'm sorry." But in order to get his autograph, he actually had to buy either this documentary he made or a book he wrote. So I just sprung for the documentary called Once Upon Atari. This thing was made in the 90s, and this is the most bare bones documentary I have ever seen. I'm going to have to watch it again because honestly, it was just people telling stories, which people do in documentaries, but normally they have some kind of visual aid. This didn't have any of that. It was just them talking in front of a camera.
I know that never works in documentaries. Maybe with the exception of Zoo, but other than that, I can't think of anything else.
And but I want to find some sort of like print for him to sign, like from E.T. or Yar's Revenge, but he didn't have that. It was just those items, and no one at the con had anything, so I just had him sign my AVGN movie as well.
There you go.
But the other thing too was Howard appeared in an Atari documentary called Atari Game Over, where a lot of people blamed his game E.T. for the reason why Atari went out of business or became what it is now. And the co-founder of Atari said that's not the case. Atari committed suicide. And when I met Howard, I told him, I think that's the wrong analogy. To me, the proper analogy is Atari overdosed.
That was the thing. Like he didn't ruin Atari. He crashed the industry. That's what the whole consensus to me was. But you know what I mean. It wasn't just. And I agree. It wasn't just his game. He was more like a contributing factor.
In my opinion, his game was just the straw that broke the camel's back. The way I see it, based on all the research I've done, it seemed like, and I told him this, Atari had this mentality that they could do no wrong, that they could release any game and they'll be successful.
That's
they
kind
can
of
keep releasing shovelware and things will be fine. They could allow people to make unlicensed add-ons for their system. Wouldn't matter.
Yeah, there was like no mitigation. But I will say one argument cruiser, the guy did publish a book that says Once Upon Atari, How I Made History by Killing an Industry.
Because he likes that title. He finds it hilarious. But as I'm telling them this, I said they think that they could do no wrong, just like how a drug addict thinks they could take anything and nothing bad will happen, until they realize they did too much. And to which he said, I agree with that, and said that people at Atari suffered from what he called BMOBs, BMOBS, which means believe my own bullshit. And because of this, Atari basically just became a licensing house. It's sad. But it just kind of goes to show that, number one, no company is too big to fail. And number two, you do need to keep track of this stuff here. You can't just do anything you want and think things will be fine. So it was a real treat to get to meet him. The other thing, too, was that Atari Game Over was supposed to be about, digging up the infamous landfill that had 2 million or whatever million unsold ET cartridges.
Well, it wasn't just ET, it was like other games as well.
Yeah, and it turns out basically they found a dump site, not the dump site.
Yep. So
you could say the the mystery continues, but I told Howard, in my opinion, though, this was enough for me, because there seemed to be like this giant mass confusion between what actually happened and what he said, because Howard always denied that the games were buried, but now he had to actually admit it. Yeah, they were buried. So in my opinion, this cleared the confusion, and I'm happy with the result with that. So that was a lot. Oh, and I attended this panel about this other arcade documentary coming out called Token Tavers, about the rise of the arcade scene coming back. And I asked them, do you think this is a legit comeback, or do you think it's just nostalgia? And while a lot of people hate this answer, it's kind of understandable. He said it's basically both. Because, yeah, it is driven by a lot of nostalgia. However, people are, those adults are bringing their kids to this thing, and they're rediscovering the social aspect of the arcade. And I kind of figured that that seemed very possible, because I do think people miss going out. I think even when you play, online, you're still not really seeing people face to face. You're just seeing someone on a screen, or not even that. You're probably just hearing their voice.
Have you ever been to Dave & Buster's?
Not in a long time.
Yeah, that's pretty much that, dude.
Yeah,
Like-
that's what. Yeah, and now it seems to be getting bigger. Not Dave and Buster's the brand, but the rise of the arcade scene.
Well,
So-
it's not just that either. It's just like also it's because like the arcade scene is like adapting and changing itself as well too, like to where it's not just gonna be like the arcade systems that we know and everything. It's still gonna be like modern things around, like where people are doing like the whole VR arena thing, where like it's a whole room and VR shit.
It's a welcome return, is what I'm getting at. And then after that, I went to a concert. I went to the Trinity of Terror tour, where I really want to see Ice Nine Kills, the horror movie band that I've been talking about. And of course, you always have to get your tour shirt. That's a must for any. Got the dates on the back. The only thing I'm disappointed is that the other bands on the tour were not on the shirt. But turns out the only way you could get a shirt that had all the bands on it was you actually had to buy their VIP package, which was $300. Now, judging by what I saw on what you got on there, it seemed tempting. A signed card from every single band, a pre-show event. You got to play a trivia games with them. You get a group shot with them, and it seemed like a pretty cool hangout. But I am so glad I didn't do it, because I spoke with the people who did, and they said it was a very disappointing experience because they didn't actually get to meet the bands. The bands were on the stage and they were just down on the ground, and they had to do everything separate. And the group shot, the bands stood on the stage with the crowd behind them. That was their photo with them. Like, that is so shitty, especially for $300. And the cards they got that were signed were like this big, the size of a playing card. Again, very shitty. The shirt was cool, but they didn't get a chance to kind of go up and shake their hands, telling what they love about music. It was a very rushed experience, and I am so glad I didn't do it. I still got their autograph, though, because they had signed merchandise for sale. Very nice. I love it when they sell signed merchandise. This album was the precursor to them becoming this horror movie band, where it's before they sang about horror films, they actually sang about books. And this was the precursor to that. And this one only cost me $50 compared to getting a card signed that was $300. Like, guys, I have to admit, that was a very shitty move on your part.
Evan, you know the whole time that the stream has been focused on you.
What?
I just switched it to the stream and I was like going,
Oh shit! Sorry about that.
Are you kidding me,
Cruiser?
Evan?
Can you show off the I was doing when I was showing off the when I was doing the ET card. Here, show off the Ice 9 Kill one again. Sorry about that.
I was literally just like, I was looking at other things. I was just like, hold on, let me go back to stream. I was like,
Yeah, that's the
how long
sign
has it
record.
been on Evan?
I'm sorry.
Signatures. And this was the shirt. Evan, you butthole.
It was an accident. Give me a break.
You're supposed to be watching the stream.
I am. I thought I must have thought I hit cut or something like that. So please excuse me. Studio
And that
mode.
was
Never.
also the show.
All right.
And that
All
was the show
right.
where I saw
Well, you were-
like that I just talked about.
Yeah.
You guys were talking about, while you were talking about that, I jumped into the JoJo rabbit hole real quick.
Oh boy, here we go. Wait, whoa,
Yeah, 'cause we got a little bit of-
wait. By JoJo Rabbit Hole, you mean JoJo's Bizarre Adventure or JoJo Rabbit?
JoJo's Bizarre Adventure.
Thank you.
What else?
Well, there's a movie called JoJo Rabbit, so yeah.
Well, that movie's great too.
Hitler is the best stand.
I'm more referring to JoJo's Bizarre Adventure. We got a little bit of news on Part 9.
Oh, really?
Okay.
Yeah, it's gonna be one of Joseph Joestar's descendants.
Of course. Who else would it be?
But
Do they have a
we're in
name?
an alternate timeline. We have been since Part 7, so
I know nothing of this.
Do we have a name? Do we have a name for it yet?
it's still tentatively titled
JoJo.
JoJo Lands.
JoJo Lands.
So it might change, it might not. We'll see.
Anyway, that tour is where I also got to see Motionless in White. Pretty cool band. They also had this band called Black Veil Brides, another band that I was familiar with, but never really heard their music. All I know is that there's a lot of hatred for this band, and the reason why people hate them, and it is the dumbest goddamn thing I have ever seen. The singer's too good looking. That's really seems to be it. Because music-wise, they're fine. They do nothing that is outwardly cringy. They haven't done a song that is unlistenable. The singer just looks like a model. And let's face it, heavy metal is just boy bands for ugly people. That's basically what heavy metal is.
It's a very good comparative analogy, actually.
Let's face it. I mean, like Jablonski, back me up on this one. How is people bitching over metal bands any different than NSYNC versus the Backstreet Boys?
It's not different at all.
Exactly. Heavy metal is just boy bands for ugly people. That's all it is. That is going to be my first shirt. Mark my words.
Well, can you name any other people that were good-looking heavy metal singers? I guess I don't know.
Yeah, the singer of Ice Nine Kills. He's actually a good-looking man. I'm not going to deny that.
No, I said others.
Like from other bands?
Yeah, like if people are just like upset about this, I'm just right here going where they're like, do they just see this guy is just very good looking and like compared?
Oh, you mean
compared to the other people that they've been watching, just being going like, that guy's average. I can relate to him, and just being like, damn, that guy's very good looking. Because I'm just right here going like, why do you care how he looks? Like, aren't you the people that care about the music?
Exactly. That's why it's so goddamn stupid.
Because if you were right here complaining about him being good looking, I'm gonna be right here going like, oh, he is good looking. What about the singer of blah blah blah, or like the singer of like that? Because like they're not like they're. I mean, I would be right here going like they're pretty okay, but you're saying this guy?
The singer. It is the stupidest thing ever. I would love to believe that metal is better than that. No, we're not.
Really,
but then suddenly,
I just don't never see the. I just never see the point in when people complain about the good looks of just like that's our only complaint about them is just like okay, but they sound good, right?
They think that they're posers, that they're not really here for music. They're just kind of here, like, look pretty and cool with a metal backdrop. But let's face it here. I mean, take for example the singer of Cannibal Corpse, George Corpse Grinder Fisher. That's his stage name. Not the most attractive man on the planet, but the guy is married and has kids. Clearly, somebody thinks he's good looking. Okay, it's like, guys, you really need to get over your fucking metal pride. You are killing our scene, and you have no idea how badly you're doing it.
You know who else is ridiculously good looking?
It's the mustache. I swear to God, it's always the mustache.
It's the beard. Yes, it's the beard, man. Always the beard.
There you go, Cruiser. Grow a beard.
Hey, babe.
That's to be your resolution next year, Cruiser. Grow yourself a beard.
When I had my mental breakdown back in 2019, before I met my girlfriend, I was like, you know what? Fuck it. I'm growing a beard because I'm just like, it's worth a shot, and I want to change my look. As soon as I fucking grow the goddamn beard, freaking people were coming to me. I'm like, what the fuck? Like, what are you fuckers coming to me for?
I pledge allegiance
I've
to
been
the
here this
beard.
whole time.
With your hairline, you could pull off a decent supervillain, I bet.
I always felt like I was a supervillain. It's just I didn't have my origin story at the time.
It's funny because
more or less an anti-hero. We'll go with that.
It's funny because before we came on, I was discussing that with Jablonski, saying I would make a good Loki / supervillain. He's like, "Yep."
You would. I could see it.
as
his
for-
hair is kind of where he was going at with it.
Yeah.
Like looks or like personality.
Everybody says I would
cosplay.
be able to pull off a Loki cosplay at least. Then again, what is Loki's personality at this point?
For looks, yeah, but like everything else, maybe not. I don't think.
Oh my god.
As for when Ice Knight kills his... Sorry.
Well, it depends.
Oh
on
no, no offense, Evan. Like I see Loki as a more like out there, open people person.
Oh my god, it's funny because you don't have no idea about what I'm like outside of the internet. Anyway, but what are you saying, Cruiser?
As for Ice Nine Kills, like I said, these guys, there's every one of their songs off at least their last 2 albums was based off a horror movie. That's their big shtick. They adapt horror films to songs, and they go all in on this. Like, to give an example, they did something that I have never seen a band do. You know, whenever the next band is setting up, the venue is playing popular songs to keep people entertained.
Yeah.
These guys played horror film scores while they were setting up. I have never seen a band do that. They wear costumes from these popular horror films. They reenact scenes from these popular horror films. They have smoke for whenever they kill someone on stage. Like, these guys really go all in on this. And it wasn't just the sing. Like, even though the singer is kind of like the driving force of this band, everyone else was having so much fun with this thing. Like, they were cracking smiles, they were laughing, they had so much fun with this shtick, and I can't wait to see what they're gonna do next. So I am so glad I got to go to this thing.
That's interesting. Thanks, Steph. I'm glad you had a good time.
Mm.
Oh my god, I've had such a long.
That's probably how I got sick too.
Yeah, your voice is sounding okay for now. Maybe it's because it's on my end, but yeah, I'd probably be there to hear it clearer. But you know, drink that tea, dude. Drink that tea.
And the last thing that happened to me was I now have a second job with Daniel Ingram.
Oh, really? Explain
the
that
composer
job.
from My Little Pony has me on his payroll. As I've said before, he has his new Kids brand of music, and he's still an industry professional. And I was trying to help promote the Tree Beast by getting on some of my friends' shows. And one day I sent him a message saying, "Hey, are you free to do the show?" And like a week later, I hear back from him. He says, "Justin, I am so sorry. I am swamped with commissions. I have my son to take care of. I got my wife to take care of. How are your Instagram skills?" I'm like, "Excuse me?" And he tells me that he actually might qualify for a Guinness World Record for having the most songs in TV music, TV, movies, and video games. But he's got to catalog all this shit and then post about it on his social media. And so he hired me to basically build a spreadsheet cataloging like close to 500 songs that he's done from the beginning of his career back in 2008 to present day. So I had to go through like 500 songs to see which ones were actually released, put it on the spreadsheet, and once that's done, we have to sort out all the songs from when they were released and then schedule times for them to appear on his Instagram feed. And I am completely shocked and flattered that he asked me, of all people, because keep in mind, like, he actually does have a people. He has his own company called Danny Music. But when he says he's busy, he's not kidding. Okay, he had to finish 10 songs this week. He is a very in-demand composer. And I'm just shocked and flattered that he came to me, of all people.
I would be.
It's an amazing feeling.
Well, congratulations. I'm glad you are. Kuma, what are you rocking out to?
Mm-hmm.
Little Penguin. That is literally the only one I ever listened to the most from listening to the holiday album.
It's
that you mentioned.
adorable.
Yeah, little penguin. We don't know about Christmas.
Oh my god! Speaking of
It
Christmas,
kind of kills me that his song,
No, go on,
that
go
his
on.
song "A Coconut Christmas" isn't a better received song because I just came driving down the road and there's lights strung about on palm trees. Come on.
Emily, where the heck is Jablonski? I want to talk about the Guardians of the Galaxy holiday special.
Oh, I love that. Me and my brother were laughing at that.
Yeah, it
so
is.
much.
It was awkward. It was cringy. It was ridiculous, but I love it.
Oh man, when you're baked out of your mind watching it, it's so funny.
Jablonski,
It's so funny.
come back, Jablonski. We need you. Come over here and have some fun. Everybody, start calling you Jablonski to come back. Come back. Come back.
Come
Back, Jablonski. Come back. Jablonski, come back on your chair. Stop showing us your ass and come back over here. Oh, he can still hear us.
Of course he was going to do that.
You couldn't hear us.
If it wasn't for my ass, we'd hardly have anything going on.
So I was telling him I was watching the Guardians of the Galaxy Christmas. I'm sorry, is it Christmas special or holiday special in this case?
Holiday special.
Okay, because
Holiday.
they go all there's holidays all over the place. I like the quote unquote holiday soundtrack they got for this with all the original songs in it, which is pretty cool. Talking like the first one talking about how Earthlings are weird for this Christmas idea and how Santa Claus is a complete and total badass.
Yeah.
But yes,
Yeah. Just Peter literally talking to them, just being like, wait, y'all just got these instruments today?
Cruiser, that's actually a soundtrack I recommend you, Christmas. Look up the Guardians of the Galaxy holiday special. They even got a number by Kevin Bacon.
Yeah.
And yes, let's talk about the plot. The plot is they want to help give Star-Lord a good Christmas after Yondu kind of scrooged him into not celebrating Christmas or something. I don't know, but like so
Wow, you only watched it once, didn't you?
no, I can't really word it too well. Please excuse me. Essentially, Mantis comes up with a good idea. Let's give Star-Lord the best Christmas ever. And who are they gonna give him the best Christmas ever?
Kevin Bacon.
Thank you.
Ta-da.
So it is literally Drax and Mantis, as Kuma put several weeks earlier, the worst two people you could ever get to do this, to kidnap Kevin Bacon and bring him to another planet.
Why Kevin Bacon?
Because he was one of Star-Lord's like personal heroes, kind of, remember?
Really?
Yeah, because like Star-Lord like mentions Footloose in
Okay, that's where we're going with this. Okay.
yeah,
I like how
like
they
he goes with
Yeah.
Footloose and everything, and like yeah, I think it was Peter. He goes like, "Wait, you talking about Footloose?" He goes like, "Yeah, isn't it still the greatest movie of all times?" And Peter goes like, "It never was."
No, it wasn't Peter that said that. It was freaking Spidey that said it. It never was.
Yeah, that's Peter.
Oh, sorry, because they're both have the same first name. Excuse me, I lost track there.
I said Star-Lord and Peter
I must
when
have
they were talking.
misheard. Excuse me. The thing that really was funny, just like there's just all the music's original, which is great. But yeah, I like how when they go to Kevin Bacon's house, it's just him. He's sitting there watching Santa Claus Conquers the Martians.
No, you're skipping over things. You're skipping over things.
But no,
before
yes.
they get to Kevin Bacon's house.
Oh yeah, I should probably mention that the trip at the bar. So they go over a neighborhood, forget to put the cloaking device on, so everybody's freaking out. And when they land, they just gotta find Kevin Bacon. So the first place they go to,
which again, with that, I know that Earth has been like subjected so far to many types of like many different like versions of alien invasions, maybe like from Thanos to whoever just shows
Chitauri.
up on a ship. Yeah, like whoever just shows up on a random ship me and my brother were talking about this, and most of that is happening in New York. You know that, right? Like that's just weird.
Oh yeah, it is
A
weird.
a little bit only happened like in California for a while, like with like Tony, but like most of it all now just happens in New York.
Oh yeah, so I've seen the Californians like freaking out, like, oh god, is this happening to us now? But yeah, the way they make
Yeah.
money is they literally go outside the Chinese theater and do nothing. They just everybody approaches like, "Can I get a selfie with you?" And I'm like, "But who do they think they are?" I mean, like, Drax and Mantis were never seen with the Avengers.
No, someone thinks Drax is someone else. Like they
Yeah.
think he's I think it was like a reference to He-Man. No, I don't think it was that.
Yeah, and he beats the
Oh,
shit. He beats
I
the
can't-
shit out of a Transformers GoBot.
No,
yeah,
he wants
which
to.
is funny.
He wants to. He doesn't.
No, he does.
No, he does.
He does afterwards. After they get a thing, he goes after the GoBot
It's like
performer.
a few seconds later. You see him. It's Mantis taking a picture with a whole bunch of people in the background. You can see him beating the shit out of
Oh,
the dude dressed as the GoBot.
Yeah, they're just basically street performers trying to dress as superheroes for money, and they all think they're just a different character, and they just so they just keep giving them money.
yeah. Like there's. I don't know what they would have thought Mantis was.
But yeah, they. But yeah, so technically now, GoBots is MCU canon.
as well as
Yeah.
Batman, which is
Yeah,
funny.
yeah, along with Superman. Yeah, we
Yeah.
know that.
No,
That is
but
weird.
no, I mean like literally, after when they showed the person dressed as the GoBot, Mantis says a line
Yeah.
mentioning that they are
Yeah.
real. So
Oh yeah,
No,
They take
she
part
said
MCU
she says that they killed his brother.
Yeah.
Yeah. She doesn't say
that,
that.
that
She
means
doesn't
GoBot,
just,
that means the,
Yeah. No, I'm just saying she doesn't
dear.
just say that they're straight up real. Like she like
Yeah.
she just says like that little.
no, the way that when she said like they killed his brother, it's like so yeah,
Yeah.
GoBots are canon.
No, yeah, that's what she's implying. I'm not saying like she's just straight up saying like they're real. Is why.
so yeah, they
Yeah,
go
that's what-
they go to the bar, get hammered, because they think Kevin Bacon's in there. They
Yeah.
come out,
Oh, yeah.
so now they're chasing Kevin Bacon drunk off their ass. They steal a star map. Really funny. Actually,
And it's what's also funny too is a lot of DC Easter eggs are in this thing too.
I know, right?
Like a couple of there's like a few actors from Peacemaker in it. Like one of them was the bartender,
Yeah.
and the rest of them are like the map, the star map as they go through majority of the celebrity faces. Suicide Squad.
Never even noticed that, actually.
And there was like when they were getting their picture taken, there was a woman with her kids that she calls Drax something, but like I forgot who specifically she was.
Yeah.
She was part of something.
I like to think that extras show up
Part
to
of the Final
Marvel.
Five?
I like to think that extras show up to Marvel movies dressed in DC outfits. Oh god, I wanted to fit that joke in before the final five. Welcome everybody to the final five, where we talk about our final five thoughts and the final five things and the final five. So, seeing that tonight we have nothing really special going on, I'm going to let the first one to take the floor be Kuma. Kuma, your time begins now.
Yay! I've been busy making up my new homebrew D&D world, along with joining this one group in playing a charity stream on Tuesdays. We recently played the first session this past Tuesday, so this coming Tuesday will be the second session, and then we got just 2 more after that. So that's a fun thing doing that. I'll be posting some of those streams up, and yeah, that's been fun doing. Other than that, I've also been planning and setting up for Holiday Matsuri for this month as well too, over in Orlando, Florida. So, yay! If you're gonna be there, one of us will. Yay!
All right, that's good. All right, so that's good. There. Next up will be Jablonski. Jablonski, your time. Should you load? There you go. Begins now.
So, what am I doing for the most part? Not too much, actually, because holidays are upon us, so I don't really have much time to be doing a lot. But the stuff that I am doing, my holiday article just released. I saw Violent Night today. Next week I'll be talking about that. I'm finally getting around to upgrading my 3D printer, and not much other than that. And remember, children, drink your motherfucking drug.
Thank you. All right, next up is Cruiser. Your time begins now.
All right. Has the materials for Hoof Rock. I'm just waiting on two other people to turn in what their contributions, and then Evan can continue. And like I said, I'm going to be working with Daniel, so things will be a bit slower, but I do want to see if I can try to put some more effort back into my music channel, talking about how I met Rammstein, how I met Dream Theater, while still also working on the story as well. So, needless to say, I'm busy as fuck. But I will still do the best I can to provide some content to you guys.
All right, thank you. I guess that only leaves me. Before we go on to Kuma's segment, let me just get me up here just to make sure he's good. Okay, cool. My time begins now. As Cruiser said, that I will be working on the newest Hoof Rock right now. I've been doing it as much as I can, be it my days off. It's going to be very slow for me to do stuff, but I'm trying my damnedest to do it. I've been doing it every weekend in the morning of work, so yeah. In terms of that, I've also been doing things. I'm playing an update video that's going to be announcing a massive content boost that, quite frankly, the Concert Cruiser kind of inspired me to do after his massive content boost this year. But yeah, we'll be keeping eyes on that and what I'm going to be doing, because I'm going to be doing a lot of stuff when I announce it. Sacrifices are going to be made. A lot of changes in my life are going to be implemented, and I just want to get out there to create for you guys. So I want to thank you guys for being patient with me. Thank you. With that being said, I'm going to be leaving us with our final segment of the night, and that will be Kuma's Quote of the Week. Thank you.
Yay! Let's see. So the quote of this week comes from with this whole thing with with Elon Musk going off. It was making me think of Tesla in general. So I thought of Nikola Tesla. So I looked up some quotes from him. Let's see, what was it? What was it? Because I didn't want to read any of the longer ones. Oh yeah, here it is. It goes, one must be sane to think clearly, but one can think deeply and be quite insane. So yep, that's it on Nikola Tesla's quote. And from all of us here at Ants, I want a cookie. Bye.
Yeah, I'm getting hungry.
It's the end of the show, so don't blow it. It's the end of the show, so don't blow it. It's the end of the show, so don't blow it. End it right.
My life is a bacon-wrapped hell on earth.